Our protagonist's name is Renso, and he was just a recent college grad. But a little while ago, his world went through a Kai recovery, and talented people could awaken powers. With that, individuals with incredible powers emerged and could take on multiple opponents. Those who awaken these abilities are known as transcendent beings. Normal people need to train to form a Kree cyclone, but our hero is different from them. Besides the traditional cultivation methods, the young man has a unique way to get stronger, and this special cultivation method he has is simply playing video games. This whole journey started the moment he got a miraculous console. Turns out, this device just appeared on his doorstep for no apparent reason. At first, he thought it was a knockoff of the Hell 4 console he had ordered. That was until the device connected to the TV, and the other controllers all by itself, starting up a game. Then he realized that this console was special because it could create characters from his imagination. With that, he quickly creates his first character, who is a super stylish celestial assassin. On top of that, the game's NPCs are super realistic and intelligent, and they even cause his missions to fail. The game's graphics are top-notch and look a lot like the real world. The freedom inside the game is absolute, and he can use abilities like bullet time to win. But the miracle of that console doesn't stop there, because something even more incredible happens. Every time the young man manages to finish one of the console's games, something crazy happens. The game's content ends up becoming a real-life event and even makes the news. And for every game he beats, he receives a reward in the form of a treasure chest. To open this chest, he needs to find a key in the real world to gain new abilities. Since then, the guy has become unstoppable, playing games and unlocking new powers. Now, we return to the present, with the boy lying in his bed, waiting for something. At that moment, he sits up in bed because his package had finally arrived. It was the box for his long-awaited Hell 4 console, making him super excited. His name is Renso, and like most young people, he always wanted a video game console. He's in his last year of college, and used his internship money to buy the device. The young man then opens the box to enjoy the game, but gets confused by what he sees. Inside the package wasn't the console he was expecting, but a strange, round object. Suddenly, that mysterious object starts to glow with a very strong blue energy. This fake console was floating in the air with a very strange blue light around it. He complains that the seller tried way too hard to create a fake fog effect. The young man is intrigued and wonders what exactly that strange object is. He still had some hope and questions if that wasn't his long-awaited Hell 4, but upon examining the object, he realizes there's no slot to put a disc in. So, the young man decides he's going to call customer service to solve this problem. In the chat, he finds out that a coupon was applied and his order was changed to the Hell 4 Pro. He decides to test the product first and tells the representative that he'll return it if he doesn't like it. But the guy is sure that this object isn't the Pro version of the console either. Besides, the device doesn't have a power cord input or a controller, so it's just junk. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, and a delivery guy shows up with another package for him. With that, he takes the box, thanks the man, and brings it inside his house. Upon opening the package, he finally finds his real Hell 4 Pro console. So, if this was the right video game, what could that other mysterious object be? He thinks it's useless, but at least it can be used as a decorative piece. But when he places the real console near the fake one, a very bright light shines. His television turns on by itself and displays a message about a little world full of fun. The device connects to everything and invites him to the Little World console. He's impressed by the connectivity of that console, which he had never seen before. So he decides to check the sender of the package and sees the name, Dronzer Corporation. But when he searches on his phone, he can't find any information about this company. Even so, the young man decides to give it a shot and goes to create a username to play. He chooses Dronzer so he'll know who leaked his data if he gets spam in the future. At that moment, a purple light comes out of the screen and moves toward the boy. Scanning him, a message says that his soul has been registered, and he is now a level 1 player. Next, the little world. Title screen appears with a really nice look. The guy is surprised and admits that the game's interface isn't bad at all. Then, 2 options appear on the screen, and he chooses the one that asks what to do now. The game then suggests he go to the store and enjoy the free game of the week. He wonders about there being free games, but figures they must be pretty simple and boring. In the store, he sees an option for free games of the month and a search option to look for other games. He tries to use the search, but it costs 10 merit points, and the young man doesn't have a single cent. This makes the guy furious about the in-game currency and the rude message he received. With no other choice, he then decides to select the option for that month's free game. Then, a message appears asking if he wants to download the free game called Hitman. The boy has never heard of this title, but decides to download it to try it out while he waits for the others. The game is an action RPG where the player takes on the role of a super stylish modern-day assassin. The free chapter has a 1-star difficulty, and the game will be deleted in 14 hours. The download finishes instantly, making him think it was just a very casual game. But suddenly, the protagonist notices something very strange about the console. He wonders how the download was completed if the device wasn't connected to the Wi-Fi. The game starts, and the guy is shocked by the graphics, which look like real footage. He finds it all incredible and says that not even the best games can compare to its quality. This makes him realize that this is a high-quality game, and not just some random title. The default character appearance is a bald man with an unfriendly look on his face. Among the recommended characters is the bald assassin, who can use bullet time. Another option is the clown assassin, who has the ability to shapeshift but costs points. And finally, there's the demon hunter, with a sword skill that also costs money. The bald assassin starts with mastery in hand-to-hand combat and also with firearms. Meanwhile, the clown assassin has basic weapon skills and is a master of throwing. Meanwhile, the demon hunter only has mastery in swords, and the bald guy is the only free one. Since the game deletes itself, he decides it's not worth spending money and chooses the bald guy. The young man then changes the character's appearance and names him Assassin. As soon as he gains control of the character, a drunk man appears in front of him. The drunk man complains that he's too close and accuses him of trying to steal his drink. Furious, the man lunges at the character to try and attack him, but with just one punch, the assassin easily knocks the drunk man down. The first mission is to enter a banquet at Blackthorn Tower before 8 o'clock. So, the character starts walking towards his objective in the middle of the rain. At the building's entrance, a man is greeted by several women in bunny outfits. Ren-so is impressed with the service, but realizes it won't be easy to get inside the place. His character then approaches the entrance, and a receptionist asks for his invitation. 4 dialogue options appear on the screen for the guy to try and trick the woman. He analyzes the choices and decides on the second option, which seems to have no cost. The assassin then says he's a manager of a company and needs to pick up some documents. But the woman informs him that access is restricted after 6 and asks him to come back tomorrow. She explains that the building belongs to the Luigi family, which is why the rules are so strict. A failure message appears on the screen, and the boy gets a serious look on his face. On the second try, the receptionist gets annoyed and calls security to kick him out. One of the guards grabs him by the tie and tells the boy not to cause trouble. Seeing this, our hero starts mashing the buttons on the controller. Suddenly, the game character makes a quick and unexpected move. With a single, precise strike, he easily takes the security guard down to the floor. Another guard sees the scene and runs to call for backup. Because an enemy has appeared over the body of the fallen enemy, interaction options appear for the assassin. The protagonist remains focused on the game and seems to be having a lot of fun. He then gets a brilliant idea and a crazy smile appears on his face. In the game, several armed guards surround the character and shoot non-stop. The game automatically reloaded, placing the character back in the alley. After taking out the guard, he tested the other 3 options for getting into the building. The result was the same. He tried the first option, saying he forgot his invitation, but the woman asked for his name to verify, and the mission failed again. For the third option, he tried to grab the receptionist, but the guards appeared, and he failed. As for the fourth, he tried to offer her money, but that attempt was a complete failure, and with that, our hero realized that all 4 options were dead ends. He thinks the first option would work if he only knew what one of the guests looked like. The third option, on the other hand, was clearly just a way to get taken out by the guards, and for the fourth option, he suspected the problem wasn't the money itself. The young man also tried going through the back of the building, but there were armed men there. But after a few tries, he finally found a way to get inside. First, he used option 2 again to get the guards' attention. To no one's surprise, the character was led into an alley by 2 big gooms. He waited for the guards to turn away for a moment, and then made his move. One of the guards tried to call for backup on his radio, but it was too late. With a quick kick, our hero's character took down the second guard, and with a precise punch, he took out the guard who was already on the ground. The young man is surprised that by pressing just 1 button, the character performed so many moves. Then, over the fallen guard, the option to put on his clothes as a disguise appears. Now disguised as a guard, he finally had a way into the building. When he went back to the front entrance, the receptionist asked for a guy named Terry. The disguised character said his partner had gone to the restroom and would be right back. However, the woman found his voice strange, and the other guards took him out right away. Since that approach didn't work, he decided to try something else with the disguise. This time, he went to the back door and ambushed one of the men in black. Immediately after, he took the opportunity to deal with the second guard. Although the back door was locked, the weather was in his favor. With the strong wind and heavy rain, he saw his chance to break one of the windows. And just like that, the character was finally able to get inside the mission building. The sound of the storm muffled the breaking glass, allowing him to get inside. He then walked down a luxurious hallway, leaving shards of glass behind him. Once inside, our hero's character looked around to see if the coast was clear, but a group of men in black found him and asked what he was doing there. He said some guy had made a mess on his clothes, and he needed to go upstairs to change. To the young man's surprise, the group leader just told him to move along. That's when Renso realized the men in black and the security guards weren't on the same team. The servers and the security guards all knew each other, which is why the receptionist noticed his different voice. But these men in black didn't know the security staff, as they were part of a different team. Our hero smiles, because a showdown between his character and these henchmen was now in